Not bad for today. I picked some green beans and some stinging nettle and some basil. I'm gonna dry these two, and I didn't think I had that many green beans yet. I was kind of surprised. That's a nice little pot of beans. So just some of the tops off of that root parsley that I had out there. Just some of them. I was just sitting here thinking that last year it wasn't this kind of parsley, but it was just flat parsley, just regular flat parsley is the way that I knew that guy was poisoning me, because that's the first thing that happened. Was I had this pot of it over near where he was dumping all that stuff, and it was real dark looking. It was funny looking. It didn't look right, and I didn't know what was going on. And I dried it, just because I had no idea he was doing anything like that. And then I ate some of it, and it tasted like fish or something, like not good fish, like like when you get fish and it's not fresh and it tastes like fish really bad and it's disgusting. Yeah, like that. And I was like, why would it taste like that? I couldn't even imagine. But that's when I started getting sick. And I kept eating things from out there. And I'm like, why is it that everything I eat out of my garden, I get sick? It doesn't make any sense. And, well, yeah, so I figured that out. But not to keep going on about it. But I was going to say, I've been really busy cutting all this stuff. I've been cutting a ton of herbs and spices out of my garden, because if I don't keep up with it, it won't keep growing. Like, if you don't keep up with it, it'll flower, and then it's just done. And sometimes there's been years that I didn't keep up with it, and then in the winter I didn't have any of that stuff to cook with, and I had to go buy it. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I just keep up with it? Because it's not that hard. So, but I can dry all this stuff, or, bag it up and freeze it, or, what, well, some of them, not this, but whatever I want to do, and then I'll have spices. I mean, sometimes it'll last 2 years, I'll have so much. But anyways, I'm having fun today. Just was thinking about that. I just couldn't believe that happened. Hey, Molly, why are you just sitting there? She never does that. Okay. Even though this is the easiest thing in the whole entire world, I'm doing this for one person. This is a cup of organic bread flour in there, and I'm adding to it a cup of spring water, and that's it. And what I am making is sourdough starter, because I've been thinking all week that I want some sourdough bread, and I did have some starter here, because you can make this and you can take parts of it and freeze it, but I used it, and I never made any more. I don't know why. I usually save some back, because you can keep separating it in half and just adding more flour and water to it and make more once it sours, and then freeze it, and then you'll always have some. But I didn't do that. So anyways, it's the easiest thing in the whole entire world, and I'm wishing right now that I did like I was going to do and set up my tripod, because I have to put this in that. I actually have a crock for sourdough, but I'm going to sit this outside, so I don't want bugs to be able to get into it. And the reason why I'm sitting it outside is because in the summer it's very hot here, and I know it's not summer yet, but it's already very hot, and you have air conditioning, and air conditioning does not help anything when you're making bread. I will tell you, it does not help with making sourdough starter, and it does not help with making bread rise. It helps nothing. So I hate air conditioning when I have to make bread. And if I turn it off, my dog Dolly will die. So I don't want to do that because she's always hot anyways. Now you notice I'm just pouring this right in the center, and I'm not splashing it on to the sides at all. That's because if you don't have patience and you splash it onto the sides at all, where you splashed it on there, it will mold like overnight. It will get mold on it, like fuzzy mold. And then the rest of it will mold, like before your very eyes. And I don't know why that is. I wish somebody would explain that to me. You know, but the woman that I learned to make it off of told me that. And I mean, I was like in my 20s then, and I was like, oh, what does she know? You know? And the first time I did it, I just dumped it into something and got it all over the place and got it on the sides, and woke up the next day to a big bubbling pot of mold. And so that was gross. So yeah, you don't want to, it's okay if it spreads out on its own and touches the sides, but don't you do it. I don't get it. But I am going to put the lid on this and set it outside. And then tomorrow I can add another cup of water and cup of flour to it and keep doing that every day, and that feeds it, and for about 4 days, and then like the 4th day I'll make the bread. And I don't think I'm going to do a video till then. So I'm making my green beans here. I had a whole pot full of them. I picked some more today. They're growing pretty fast. I mean, it's been a while since I grew beans. Well, this kind of beans anyways. But they're growing fast. A nice little pot. And I got some fish in the oven. Had me a nice little dinner here in a little bit. You guys, what happened with the sourdough starter. You see it's got bubbles in it, and it's spread out itself, and there's no mold. It's already starting to smell soured. But no mold, bubbles. That's nice. It's activated. See, it gathers natural yeast from the air. And you don't need any bread yeast if you do it this way. Oops. I just wanted to show y'all real quick. These are long beans, and you don't cook them like regular beans. Here's some more. It's funny because like usually I have red ones, and I grew green ones this time, and I didn't even notice them, and I kept seeing these flowers and kept thinking they gotta be coming on pretty soon. And here they're just like, they're all over the place, and I'm like, duh, I didn't even know. Anyways, you don't cook these like regular beans like you would in water or microwave them or what. Well, you could microwave them, I guess, but you just like cut them up into segments, or you can leave them like that. You can leave them long and just saute them in a little bit of oil in a pan, and they are good. And my one friend was right. She said that the red ones weren't as good as the green ones, and I agree with her. The green ones are better. And she's Asian. It's kind of funny, like she knows this stuff. So it's just kind of a funny thing. She's taught me a lot about food. Day 2 here. I'm out here with a stray cat, Sebastian. See, I fed it last night. You know, you just feed it some more flour and water. And look how bubbly we are. This is working out perfectly. And later I'll feed it some more. Ooh, it smelled sour when I shut that. Wow, it already is. Man, I came out here looking for this and it flew right in front of me. I don't know what kind of a butterfly this is. Dolly! Damn it. She just ran right up on him and scared it. Shit. I can't get it either. He's real skittish. And I just got home from somewhere and I was unloading my car. I'm out of breath and this fucker keeps running from me. Just stay there, butterfly. Flutterbutt. I don't think he's gonna let me fucking take a picture of him. Yes. Hey, what do you got there, huh? What is that? Huh? What is that? So like you don't like it? He doesn't like the hot dog. I mean, she doesn't like the hot dog. You're the most uptight eater I have ever seen in my whole entire life, Dolly. Okay, you guys are gonna think I'm gross. It's like heart attack on a plate. And I am making this because I talked about hot dogs the other day, and ever since I wanted one. And these are those Hebrew National ones that are so flippin' good. I know they're not good for me, but I haven't had a hot dog. I don't even remember the last time. So, and don't make any jokes about me not having hot dogs. I don't even want to hear it. But you guys are gonna think I'm silly because I was gonna get coney sauce, and I didn't see it, but I saw manwich, and I'm like, oh, same thing, you know, whatever. I mean, and it's not totally at all. It's not the same as refried beans. It's not the same as coney sauce or chili, you know. But anyways, I have never had manwich before, and I just assumed the meat came in it. So, like, I opened it, and there was no meat in it. And I'm like, oh, man. So, I'm just going to put mustard on them, and that's it. Because it's all I have, and I don't want to go back to the store. I know this is ridiculous, huh? But boy, is that going to be good. I always eat hot dogs and they're so good, and then I gross out afterwards. Like, how could I have done that? So today, when I got home from the grocery store, there was a little, like, brownish red butterfly flying around in my yard, and I was chasing it around frantically, trying to figure out what it was. And I took some video of it that's awful. I'm not going to put it on here unless I get better video of it tomorrow. But it was a red admiral butterfly. And I looked up online what their host plant is because I've never seen one of those here before. And it's stinging nettle. And this is the first year that I've grown this. And last week I took 2 caterpillars off of something and moved them out into my front yard. And this is why I never kill caterpillars, because if you don't know what they are, you don't know what you're killing. You know, and some caterpillars, like, are bad for, like, farms and stuff, you know, and they'll destroy a whole crop. And like I've said a million times, cabbage loopers drive me crazy. But you know, it's like I've said before, I have enough to share. And I would rather not kill something. I would rather just put up with it. And usually it lives its life cycle and it goes away, and whatever you're growing just keeps growing. You know, it's a little different if you lived up north of me where there's a winter and you only have like a really short growing period. But down here, I mean, stuff grows all year round. You don't have to stop. And so I can share a little. But now if they start devastating something, I'll just hand pick them off and drive them to somebody's house that I don't like. And no, I don't do that. Okay, I did it once, but I'm not telling who. You know who you are. But anyways, I was gonna say, I'm about to go in and feed my sourdough starter again and put just, like, you know, maybe half a cup of water, half a cup of flour in it, and rinse the container out that it's in, and then dry it out and then dump it back in there again. And it's got a couple more days to go. It already smells like sort of like Parmesan cheese or something like that. And that's the kind of smell it gets. Well, I'm sure you've had sourdough before, but I'm really excited. I haven't done this for a while. The starter's looking good. It's kind of funny. There's way less in here than it looks like, because it's got all those air bubbles. So it looks like way more than there is, but it's looking good. I poured it out of the bowl, which is right there, and added half a cup of flour in there, and see, it's way less than it looked like. That's what I mean. And I'm gonna rinse that container out and then put it back in there again. And you just do this every day, just feeding it. Welcome to another episode of Heart Attack on a Plate. I got some chili. That's gonna be like way better, as long as I don't drip it on that bun. Oh yeah, baby. Why do I want hot dogs? It's like crazy. I'm not eating any more after today. Dolly ate like 2 of them. She ate one last night, and she ate one today. She ate one this morning. I don't think I've ever gave her a hot dog, so she like didn't know what it was at first. I think I put the video on here. She was looking at me like I was crazy or something. Like, I'm not gonna eat that. What the hell is that? It's a piece of rubber. That's about what it is. But yeah, much better. Okay, so I'm spoiled again. Somebody sent me aliens in the mail. No, it's Rose of Jericho. Is that what it's called? Resurrection plant. Rose of Jericho, I think, and you just sit it in water and they come back to life. So I'll check back. It's pretty uneventful, like right now, but see if we can see it moving at all. But it's supposed to happen pretty fast, so we'll see. I don't know. Nothing's happening. It's been a couple hours and this thing is a hot mess. You can see it's getting greener wherever it's wet. Just interesting. Definitely fascinating.